and copy and paste. Okay, there. Bam. What?
We were copying paste.
Yeah. Okay. Y'all add that. All of those names are from one person. Here's Alexis's Chica Pow Pow.
But if you say it, it has to
Chica Pow Pow. Okay.
So that's what we're doing unless we come up with a better idea.
I kind of am liking end of the month. Chica Pow Pow.
Okay. The only problem is it has no meaning.
But it makes people go, what? That's her
right.
baby. We might go sit outside in a second. Okay. Okay, let me pull up my agenda. I'm so excited about everything that's happened and everything that's going to happen. So let's recap September. iPop, I'm so sorry. Y'all, can y'all walk down the street?
You know what? I can take him. I'll join from my phone.
Okay.
And contribute there.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, guys. She's a single parent these days because Steven travels and she does this by herself all week, every week, and he comes home on Fridays. So, yeah, for anybody else who's working the business as a single parent, she can relate. Okay, so we had an incredible dinner we missed everybody who was out of town. I just want you to know that my heart was sad that if you couldn't make it for whatever reason, if you were too far to come or whatever, I want to vision cast for you that we got that idea from Jordan Schrant because I watched Jordan Schrant. She has a group called Rise Up. I pay $10 a month. Alexis pays $10. Annalise pays $10. Emily pays $10. We all are in Rise Up and we get our coaching from Jordan Schrant. She is a business genius. Okay. So like there's nothing new under the sun. And so we're not like coming up with new things or anything. We literally, if you go to Jordan Schrant's Instagram, you're going to see her fall vibes. Well, we did exactly what she did. That's her brand partner dinner in her yard with 100 of her brand partners. We did the same thing. Ours was in my backyard. So we showed her what we did. And then step 2, is to do a product training. I'm telling you that because no matter if you have one person on your team or 10 people on your team, gather them close to you, have them over. Everybody's is going to look different. And just build your community over food because people are hungry for relationship and for conversations. We had so much fun just talking about silly things, about life, about the business. If you were there, don't you agree? I mean, I think, it was just good to see Hannah and Billy Joe and just Christy and and Shelly. So people are hungry for community because we are made for community. God made us for community. So I know that a lot of you have fears. Alexis, will you mute yourself? I can hear me. I'm so sorry, guys. We're a 3-ring circus right now, but it's good. God has given you, if you feel called to this, raise your hand if you feel called. If you feel like before I stepped into Young Living as a business, there was a lot of prayer that went into it. I didn't just I'm going to do a business like that. I talked to my husband. I told him I wasn't cooking anymore. We were going to make money, all those things. So did anybody else walk in it with decision, or did you just I want to know, in the comments, tell me, did you end up in this business, intentionally? Did you discuss it with your husband? Did you have one, or what? Did you fall into it? Hold on, I'm looking for the chat. Okay, somebody, I don't know how many million% walked in with vision, knowing I was supposed to. Okay, that's Alexis. Okay, good. Alexis is the only one. That's my girl. Okay, Stephen didn't believe and wanted me to stop. I remember that, and that was hard. That was really, really hard. Okay, Catherine, yay, you did. So you knew it. Okay, so I'm asking each one. I feel like Anna Major knew from the time she was 10, 12, 14, 16, that she was supposed to do this. I know that Anna Major knows that she was called. She says intentionally, the Lord kept confirming that I was 14 and knew that as soon as I was 16, I was supposed to do this. He kept opening doors. Candy, I did not discuss with my husband because I have failed before. Maybe we should discuss what failure is. The most successful people fail the most. So if you feel like you have failed, that's just one of the steps into success. So, I mean, do you know how many failures I've had and keep having, and how many no's that I have had and will continue to get? I mean, no, we don't fail one time. One of the reasons we named our dinner Falling Forward, it was kind of funny behind the scenes because we feel like sometimes we're just, like you can stumble into, we feel like we're all stumbling forward right now with the website and some of the things that, are happening. So we named it Falling Forward kind of as a pun and as an inside joke for us brand builders, because that's not right, brand partners, because that's how it feels. We feel like we are falling forward. So Candy, congratulations, you failed. You were among the greats. Okay. Yes. Okay. Shelly, I discussed with my husband and he is my biggest cheerleader. That's awesome. Shelly. Yay. I'm glad that you did that. I think it's so important that if you have a husband that he knows, because there is a cost to this business, and that when that cost is some of your time, your attention, your effort, and sometimes on some days, your emotions, your pride and all that. So here's my point. If you decided intentionally and you know that God called you into this, then saying you're not going to gather with your people, you can't do that, because that's literally walking in disobedience. If God said, I want you to be a light and I want you to share these products that change lives, because these products do change lives. Like we talked about at the dinner, I can walk without pain today because BLM. My mom can do this because sacred frankincense. A lot of people have a life-changing testimony because of one of the products. Who is it in your inner circle? You don't know. We can't decide for them. Have them over for tea. Have them over for chicken salad that you bought at Costco. You don't even have to cook. I mean, that's my trick. When I have people over, I go buy pre-made food, put it in my dishes, and call it a day. It's all about community. So that is what Jordan Strant said to do. She said, have your brand partners over. If you don't have any brand partners, I talked to one person today who has one brand partner and one customer. And I said, you bring them both over, because that customer, she has friends. Okay. And more than likely, she would probably like to make $50 a month. I think we can probably convert most of our customers over to brand partners. So don't discount that. Okay. So this is a challenge. I want each one of you, whether you were at the dinner or not, I want you to duplicate what we did last Saturday night on your scale. At your table, if you live in a dorm or an apartment or whatever, have people around your table and gather around the table and let them know why they're there. Annalise told a funny story at the dinner, and I'm not going to rehash it all, but she got tricked into a dinner. She and Sam tricked into a dinner. And so don't trick anybody, because that always turns out slimy. So have them over because you're going to build your business with relationships. Okay, at the dinner, we announced that I am going to host a monthly in-person product education. That is not going to take place of monthly Zooms. That's not going to take place of my personal classes that I have in my home or on Zoom. This is just an opportunity to reach, to help more builders. How can you do that? As a brand partner, you need to have one thing a month, at least in person, that your new brand partners can say, yes, I'm learning to teach classes, but right now let's go to Anna's. Let's go to Shelly's. Let's go to Sarah's. She's going to have this. They will learn from you. You are showing them how to work. So you have that monthly class where you're going to invite your warm contacts, but you're doing it as an example to your brand partners also on how to do a monthly class. So you're not going to be the only monthly class on your team. Hold on just a second. Let me Okay. So we are showing them how to walk. I started out with like 10 people on my team, and they were all my family, you know. We just gathered and gathered and gathered, and we would add a friend and add a friend and add a friend. And this team of 2,200 people, or however big we are, I don't know. I need to look today, but it's grown 2 to 6 people at a time. So don't despise small beginnings. All of your beginnings, all of your new teams are going to be, they're going to probably start small, because not one of us is famous. We're famous in heaven if we're doing great things and serving other people. But don't despise small beginnings. Love the small gatherings, the 1 or 2 people at your table, because you can really, really impact them. And you are duplicating to your brand partners what it looks like. What my favorite quote from dinner the other night was Sydney's. She said, Instagram is not your job. Young living is your job. And we were all like, whoa, because how much time do we spend on Instagram? I mean, maybe not everybody, but how many times have I tried to figure out a reel, and I've just wasted like half a day on a dang reel that, 300 people are going to watch, or maybe 1,000, but how many enrollments am I going to get from it? I don't know. I could have talked to so many more people in all the different ways that I can talk to people, So keep that in mind, that your job is talking to people. It's not posting on Instagram. I post on Instagram with this in mind. I put on Instagram what I want my new enrollments that I'm enrolling in person to see. So I'm supporting them. My neighbor across the street signed her up. Neighbor down the street signed her up. Took her samples, about to sign her up. I'm new on this street, and I'm knocking them out one by one. My goal is to get the whole street and move again. So what I'm doing is I think about them. I think, okay, yes, I've posted about Thieves Household Cleaner 3,000 times, well, maybe more, but Jessica hasn't seen it all those times. We're new friends. So I'm going to do it again for her. So think about Instagram like that. If you are not talking to people in person and putting them in front of your table, then your growth is going to be so slow that you're not going to feel it. Instagram is hard to do without supporting it with a lot of in-person relationships. And it's so fun, guys. It's so fun to have a team that can meet around your table. I know that we have girls who are moving from city to city, and Hannah just moved from Cyprus to, I don't know where she moved, another state. We've had a lot of girls move from city and from state. What a great opportunity. What a great opportunity to be a light. Alexis, are you able to get off get off mute and give a little quick testimony?
Yes. Okay. On what?
We were walking tonight, and Alexis, their lease is about to be up on their apartment. And she was like, I'm signing another lease because I feel like, now we're talking Alexis, who is gold and she has incredible workflow. And so, we tend to be hardest on ourselves. So these are things she said about herself that I don't think are true, but she said, I've wasted my time at my apartment. I should have been. Tell them what you said.
Okay. So I put in the comments that
I can't hear you.
Anna, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Like Anna Major, anyone who lives in an apartment complex or a tight community is really, anyone can succeed, but those people are specifically put in a place to really succeed, because you're automatically dropped into a community, whether you're an introvert or an extrovert. You just have to put in some effort of participation. Well, ever since I had Caspian and went through that phase, and I have not participated in my apartment complex anything. No wine nights, no bingo nights, no anything. And I've just never cared to. Like, I'm fine in my apartment. And it dawned on me after being there for a year and a half, what an idiot I've been, because I'm in an apartment where people are hungry for fellowship. They're hungry to learn. My apartment complex specifically, I feel like these people are business minded and aren't tight on finances. And I've just been like sitting here wasting time. And it was just like a huge wake up call. So even though Steven and I have been thinking about getting a house, I want platinum. I want Royal Crown Diamond ultimately, but platinum's the next step. I want it so bad. And these are my goals, that we're staying another year in the apartment complex just so I can attend every single event and meet every single person there, because everyone's in transition at an apartment complex. Heck, I would recommend, if you don't have kids, just move to an apartment complex if you're serious about young living. And go to all the wine and dine nights and meet everyone. And because everyone's moving, everyone's out of there within 6 to 12 months. And you can literally, there's no reason to move states. Like literally the state comes to you at these apartment complexes. So I've just been blown away, because even as an introvert, I have not really met very many people, but the people I have met are already signing up and are hungry to learn. And I was able to fill my apartment with neighbors just the other night for a class. So that's where I'm targeting my energy now. I'm going to stay another year, and I'm going to put my heart and soul in not going to mom groups around the Woodlands, but just knocking on doors and handing out cookies and attending events.
Okay. Thank you, Alexis. I think that's awesome. So Alexis is able to expand her territory and her network by signing another year's lease and joining Bunko or whatever. I've always done Bunko, as much as I hate Bunko in our neighborhood, just to meet the ladies. And it's cool because even when the ladies move off, we're still connected. And I'm about to enroll one who was in my Bunko, but now she's in another state. I just joined a hiking group. What the heck? So I am going to buy some hiking boots, and I'm going to expand my network hiking with these ladies. Got a 10-mile hike coming up soon. Lord help me. And you know what? I'm going to take all the oils with me and make friends. And every time somebody hurts themselves or whatever, I'm going to oil them up. It's just going to be a natural thing. So let me read Anna's. I feel so much that I've always said, oh, I'm an introvert. That's not for me. But this is network marketing. I need to be with people. And I'm always surprised at how life-giving it is, because hearing their stories and what they need support with reignites my fire of why I share Young Living. Yes, it's the stories and it's the lives. And that's what keeps us from burning out. When we become goal-oriented and it's rank or money, it's so easy to burn out. Girls, I see so many girls run to silver, and then it's like a flash in a pan and then die off because they burned themselves out. They were running for a rank and they lost their why. They lost why they were doing it. And it's the testimony. So I love that, Anna. And that's why there are some introverted RCDs. It's because of that. Okay, Sarah's raising her hand. Sarah.
Yeah, I raise my hand and I don't know how to unraise it, even though I just did it. What I was going to say is, I don't know how many of you guys like on social, what your other people are doing. Right now, I see a lot of people who are involved in network marketing companies that I personally don't want to ever be involved in. And what I love about Young Living and sharing with my neighbors specifically is my business is starting to grow on its own, just naturally. Like one of our neighbors, she literally just texted me that she was sick just because we were supposed to hang out. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Can I bring you some soup? And I brought her Ningxia and I brought her my Young Living supplements. And that day she bought a Ningxia kit for me because she was like, my body feels so much better right here, right now. I need to buy this. And in just like having them over for dinner and meeting at the pool, I took them to the airport today. Like we were just talking in the airport and I shared with her a story from one of my friends who started taking Ningxia and she had preeclampsia. Her blood pressure was dangerously high and she was going to be rushed into a C-section. And I brought her Ningxia and her blood pressure went down like my phone. So I was telling her that story. And then she's already texted me that she wants her dad to start getting Ningxia like every month. And what I just loved that. I love that I don't feel like I'm being slimy. I love that I don't feel, I want to be strategic in growing my business, but I love that it's so organic and it's going to start doing that on its own. Like my neighbor, she's going to go have her dad buy some, all because I knew her and we were hanging out at the pool and she told me she was sick and I brought her some. And so I love that. I love that there's no weirdness. I love that all it takes is for me to have the courage to share something that I love. Like, that's it. And it's like the bare minimum. The bare minimum is like, do I have the courage to share something that I love, knowing that they might think I'm weird, or I might have multiple sales that start to grow on its own because people fall in love with it. So anyways, I'm kind of just rambling.
That's beautiful. I love that. And that is exactly how we build this business, is what you're doing. I love that. And so why does it feel awkward? Because we're loving them by giving them what they need. Sometimes, and I want to encourage y'all with this, sometimes I'll have neighbors ask for a sample, like, oh, that roller bottle was so good. I'm out, or I lost it. I've had that. Could I have another one? I'll buy it. And I don't, at this point, I'm just giving it until they sign up. But sometimes it's multiple times, so I want you to know they don't always get a kit immediately. But it's the ones that I'm giving samples to that always sign up. Okay, Christy saying, I've enrolled several people lately just because I bought them Ningxia when they were sick. And what's wonderful is I was taking it truly to help them, not just sharing a sample. Yes, Christy, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I love that. And that's the heart of Young Living. That's the heart of Mary Young. And that's the heart of Just a Little Drop. So you won't burn out, and you will hit your ranks if you do that consistently and teach your people around your table and model it to do that. Okay. So let's stay focused on that. Okay. Changing gears. So everybody has your homework. You as a leader need to schedule something monthly to invite your leaders to, and then have them to schedule something monthly also. You're duplicating yourself. It's not just one big monthly thing for your whole team. It's everybody has something monthly. Okay. Last month, the silvers and above tested something. Maybe you noticed, maybe you didn't, but it was called chats. We had chats. We're like, classes and workshops scare some people, and some people don't feel confident teaching class. So I've been doing conversations on Instagram with a third party. They don't have to be a brand partner. They don't have to be in our team. It's just somebody who has a life-changing testimony with a Young Living product who's willing to talk to me. So I'm going to share my screen with you. The chats went really well. We had the hair chat. We had the arthritis chat. We had, let's see, share, just doing the whole desktop. Okay, you see that? So we had topical chats. Now, this is going to be something else that you will do. The reason you will do this educational chat is because it's going to wake up people who are customers, and they don't realize that they can talk about the product and possibly make some money. So you're going to flip some customers to brand partners by just saying, will you chat with me about your testimony? This is what Bethany Shipley did to hit diamond, literally. So this is your format. This is what we used. You're going to choose your topic, and then this is just a guide. You don't have to do this exactly, but this is just what we used to test it. 5 Young Living products. You want to talk about lifestyle changes, because nobody gets over arthritis or hypothyroidism or PCOS, or, you can talk about these big diseases, okay, in your chat, because this is them telling their story. This opens it up for you to talk about some big things, because Young Living says, and whoever else is like the police of our words, says that people can give their testimony as freely as they want. So you can talk about, you can use these hot words in these chats, as long as you talk about the lifestyle changes too. Okay. So if somebody didn't only use frankincense and get over cancer, they probably changed what they ate. They probably took some more supplements. Maybe they did a blood transfusion. I don't know. They did some other things. So in your conversation, you have a space for these things. And then testimonies to share during the chat. Okay, people who would be encouraged by this topic. So that's people you're going to make sure are tagged or know about, or you're going to share it with. And then people who can chat with me over this topic. So I have a chat. I've turned my chats into IGTVs because that is a system where you can use it over and over and over, and you will enroll from it because testimonies sell product because everybody has something to get over. Okay, so I'm going to put this PDF that Sydney made. She took my outline and made it into a PDF for y'all. You can print it out and use it. But I'm so excited about these chats because you don't have to have a script. You just have to know how to ask questions. And I'll do a live video separate in the group for those people who haven't maybe been trained on how to have a conversation. Believe it or not, there are some people who don't know how to ask open-ended questions, but that's just you. If you can ask open-ended questions, you can get some good information out of the person. Okay. Okay, let's do FAQs. Alexis, will you text Annalise? She's asking if the call is tonight. She was in Bible study. Okay. Are you tagging your new people in the welcome post? That welcome post covers a lot of things like how to use the page, why Young Living is the best. It's a really important post for them to start with, and it will help them know how to search for what they're looking for, because there's like 5 or 6 years worth of posts on that page. And so they're not going to see exactly what they need in the first 5 posts. So they need to know how to look for things. So make sure you're tagging them. I feel like more people need to be tagged than are. I'm looking at some of the questions that I have already received. Okay, so the person who asked this, I don't think is on. How do you gather if people are afraid to gather? I think that there will be some people who don't want to gather for whatever reason, but they might sit at the table across from you. So make it smaller, make it just with that person, and teach your information. Are y'all using this? If you're not, you're missing out. This makes growing a business so easy. Okay, I can't say enough good about this. And this keeps you from getting lost. Oops, this is what I carry around all day, every day. Every time I get in the car, I'm sure my neighbors are like, what does she take with her? Because I always have a backpack and a purse and 2 drinks and these 2 giant binders. And it's kind of ridiculous. I'm sorry. I don't know who that is. Hold on a second. Okay. Okay. So, in the beginning of your business, you are going to work more hours than your check will show, more than likely, if you're normal. And then it's going to change. Then you're going to work less hours and your check is going to be way bigger than what you're working. So, but if you keep doing that consistently, we have heard some people say, who have never worked at all, but are receiving a check, my check was only such and such. And we're like, did you earn it? No. Did you earn it? No, you didn't earn it. So be thankful that you got a check. So that's a whole different rabbit trail. Does anybody have, let me look at my chat. Any other questions that I didn't see? Okay, Christy says, I'm sure I know the answer, but wanted to double check. Once someone has been moved in our downline, is there any way to move them back closer to home? Oh, Christy, you and me both. Several months ago, I moved someone way down, and now she's like my 5th or 6th level, but is wanting to work the business now. So I would love to have her close to home. I'm sure it's just too bad. So sad situation, but I had to ask. when there is a will, there's a way. I am not going to tell you to do anything unethical, but if she's your enrollment, if she is your enrollment, there is a way to do that. And I know that you can figure out that way. Okay. Because sometimes, like in the old way that we were building, I mean, I have a personally enrolled 7 levels deep. Okay. So I know what you're saying. You do have to get right now. I mean, unless they've changed it, 3 signatures, things have been changing. Yes, it's back when I thought I wanted to build deep. You don't, if she's one of your dream team, you need to do everything you can to move her forward to your front level. Okay. If she's in your dream team, because it is the people that are closest to me. You know who I see every day, almost every day? The people on my front line. Yes, they're my girls, but I put them on my front line, my first and second level, you know, on purpose, because I wanted to, you know, you do that. You spend a lot of time with your first and second level. That doesn't mean we don't work with all our levels, because I do. I work with people 12 levels deep. Okay. Oh, I have a question. I should definitely know this, but as an executive, I need $1,000 legs. Does the top of each leg need to have 100 PV for me to qualify as executive, or just the 1,000 legs? That is a fabulous question, Sarah. And I'm so glad you asked it, because a lot of people are confused about this, and it is confusing with the new plan. So let me make it not confusing. Okay. I think the best thing to do is, okay, can somebody come kill the cat? Thank you. Tearing up my furniture. Thank you. Okay, so for executive, you need 4,000 OGV, okay, and 2 at 1,000. But you're saying that you have 1,000, but not necessarily this person's not spending $100.
Yeah, I can just tell you what it is. So I've got my 4,000, I've got my 1,000 on each, but top of one of my legs, their order was 86. So I just want to make sure that the top legs don't have to be 100, because if I miss my executive paycheck because of that, I'm gonna be annoyed. So that's just what I didn't know. Does the top of my legs have to be 100? I have the OGV, I have the,
it has to be brand partner, and it has to be 100.
Okay, good to know.
I know. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. That's why, yeah, that's why you want to be close to the people that are going to rank you up, so that you can, because I have, we've been in situations before where this particular leg under this person was going to keep this person from getting a bonus, but we didn't know the girl. We had built underneath her, but we didn't know her because she was from Instagram, and we couldn't get a hold of her. And the girl, my builder, missed her bonus, her $500 bonus, by like $15, you know? So that's why it's so important to know the people you're building under, that they're friends, and y'all drink coffee together, you hang out.
Well, it's my mother-in-law, like the first leg that I built. And we have talked about this so many times. I think I have the login, so I'll just probably go in her login and order something myself. But I was just curious, because I have all the other requirements. I just think about that and I can't. So thank you.
And that is something I do too. When I have a lot of, this is going to sound bad, but I help a lot. I help fewer customers than I used to. I used to help a lot of customers process their orders. Okay. That's exhausting. I don't recommend it. But in the beginning, when you're getting started, that's a good thing to do. But you really want people to know how to work their own accounts. But I know a lot of people's logins. And sometimes that really matters. And so if you have a top level who's not really in the game, and you've accidentally built under her and she's not working anymore, you need to know her login. Because if she's a friend, that's just, because sometimes it comes down to 11:55 or 10:55, and it's going to be a difference between a lot of money. Okay. So any other questions on the new compensation plan, the new website, or anything? Did anybody get on the diamond call with Evangeline Reed? do you want to give us any positive takeaways?
Oh, I mean, it was amazing. I think it was just really helpful to hear her recap, because there's just, it's so easy to think that you're failing because it's not growing, when that's just not true. And for me, as like an executive trying to work towards silver, it was really encouraging to hear like other diamonds share their frustrations, just to know like, oh, I'm not alone. And oh, even these people that I see as successful are having these issues too. And it's just part of it. I really love, they just kept saying that leaders are built in valleys. Leaders aren't built on the mountaintop. And so it was just very encouraging, because it was just like, this is the growing pains of building your own business, of Young Living becoming better. And just because the growth isn't what I want it to be, it's not bad. It's not a bad thing whatsoever. So just like working through that mentally, I feel like it was encouraging, and it put me in a good headspace to be like, why am I so hard on myself? This is ridiculous. So it was good.
Just keep doing what you've been doing and give it to the Lord over and over and over. Because I mean, I went from gold to platinum in like such a short amount of time. There's no doubt about it that the Lord was just like waiting to be like, okay, now we're doing it. Now we're doing it. So it can happen really fast. Just stay faithful. And she's right. Leaders are built in the valleys, and this is weeding out a lot of people. Here's the great thing is all the new people that we're bringing in, they only see the beautiful website. They are not experiencing anything that we're experiencing. They're not forgetting to change their order because they're used to processing it at, midnight the day up. They're not doing those types of things. So all the new people coming in is just a good experience, and this is good. So I'm looking for the recording of her call. I should be able to get it, and I'll share it on our page. But
I have it.
Oh, good. Would you put it on our page for us?
Yeah.
Fabulous. Thank you so much. Yeah. I appreciate it. Okay. So that is all I have. I will post the chat PDF. Y'all print it out and use it. And I want to see your chats. Do your chats on Instagram. Do your chats on Facebook. Oh, I don't do my chats live. Okay. And I do my chats on Zoom so that the person's more comfortable, because sometimes people aren't comfortable live. And so we just chat. And sometimes we have to chat a few minutes before and then I just trim that off. You know what I mean? I just want the person to be really relaxed, and then I just load the video on IG. You do you in that sense. But for those of you who aren't comfortable with live video, it's totally fine. You don't have to do it live. Do it on Zoom and save the recording. Okay, that's all I have. Thank y'all for coming. And we didn't vote on a name, but right now I guess it's Chica Pow Pow. So I love y'all. Okay, girls. Can't wait to see the new product. Anna, we miss you. Bye, guys. Bye, everybody. Bye, Candy, Catherine, Christy, Maria, Sarah, Shelly.